You guys know the glue. The only way to debunk the glue
as much as I know about medicine when I'm studying medicine.
Yeah, turn hover around. Once there's a plane flying upside down.
Okay, I mean, there may be some plausible things to be flat with this.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the turtle and the elephants?
You're meaning the mythology of the turtle and the four elephants?
Yeah.
Well, put it this way, all of the ancient societies all believed in a flat earth. You've only been in a ball for 500 years, yeah?
Yeah, but
so do they all get it wrong?
Castrating people and
sure, yeah.
Cool stuff,
Yeah, that's all belief, we're going by facts. What's water in a container?
At one point was belief, and we just said that's belief, and then you've moved to fact.
Yeah, okay, so factors. What's water when you put water in a container? Is that round or level?
Well, it will have a meniscus, it can have certain...
Sure, you'll have that little meniscus coming in.
It comes back to like calculus. If you look at something, a curvature, if you look at it on a small enough scale, it will appear flat.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's taking all the world's geometry, fucking...
No, sure. What I'm saying is that the physical properties of water is it will always find its level.
Surgery is the same as smashing a frog's head with a hammer.
Oh, granted. But that's what I'm saying is, or two opposing pressure systems without a solid barrier.
Say that again?
Two opposing pressure systems without a solid barrier. Well, we're in a 22 pound per square inch, keeping us down all at the same time, right? There's basically the atmosphere is 22 pounds. Okay, and there's space, which is an absolute vacuum. So what's stopping all the air going straight out into the vacuum and finding an equilibrium? Or perhaps, yeah. What's gravity? Is that the theory or law? There's the law of gravity, what goes up must come down, and there's gravitational theory. You can measure the effects of it.
You're asking us like quantum physics questions and asking what your understanding of it.
If I drop that,
what's your understanding of quantum physics?
I have no understanding of quantum physics.
So really, none of us are even in a position to argue between flat and round?
What I'm saying is, if I drop that, alright, now, did gravity do that?
No, can I just go back to my point?
Or was it because the air molecules surrounding the packet of cigarettes couldn't retain it in the air?
Can we go back to
mass and density?
Because I just like an answer.
Sorry, yeah?
Either one of us is in a position to actually answer this, because none of us are masters in quantum physics.
Sure, none of us are. We can just go by what we physically see and feel and touch and your own first-hand observations.
I would say that 1% of the world's population is probably smart enough to have this argument.
Well, it depends on how you want to...
Well, there's a
how you want to call what's smart and what's not, you know. Everybody specialises in their own particular things.
You get over like 150, 160, the Hawkins of the world, people like that.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
How many people in there had an IQ over 160?
Wouldn't know. I only just met them. But I know what I observe, and I know what I've done my own tests of, and what I can speak from a first-hand practical point of view. And there's no way I can take a star trail with the P900 here and watch the complete perfect circle rotation of the southern celestial point where the Southern Cross just goes around like a clock. It never moves, it's always there, and yet we're spinning. Oh yeah, it'll move like a clock face, but its position in space never moves.
It does. It just takes like 2,000 years for that.
So what does astrophysicists say about that?
But then how are you going to prove that to yourself?
Well,
you're going by what other people have said, you know? You're going by what other people have said. You say it moves in 2,000 years, but that's only because of what's been recorded and how accurate are the records.
So you're saying there's a conspiracy for every paper?
No, not at all. I'm saying what I've observed, and you can take it as you like it. But I can film. I've been filming star trails now for 2.5 years. It's never moved. It's always been at 165 degree magnetic or true south at 37 degrees azimuth from the horizon, and that's where I see the south celestial point.
Do you appreciate the distance of what you're observing in relation to us?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you think
I have no idea how far away they are.
Hundreds of light years away.
Yeah, but they've only ever measured about 40 billion light years.
Yeah.
So to say they're trillions of light years, how do they measure it?
What I'm saying is we're talking about on a unfathomable scale. Do you appreciate
I don't know.
It is so far away that
I don't know. All of that stuff, although I can't prove myself, I'll just say I don't know. I'll put my hand up and be the first to say I wouldn't have a clue. But I can go by what I see.
Yeah, so what you see...
Do you feel like you're moving 1,000 miles an hour?
Positive?
Pardon?
From what you see, do you think it could give you fake positive?
No. I mean,
Do you think
do you
there's
feel
no
like
other explanation for what you see that
if you
it's
go
flat?
if you go by the heliocentric or the ball, we're all in a globe spinning around the universe. We're doing 1,040 mile an hour at the equator. That's doing 67,000 mile an hour around the sun, and the sun's doing 500,000 mile an hour around the galaxy. So how can I take a perfect star trail?
Well,
If
you know
there's
the
those
theory of
three
relativity,
axes of
right?
motation.
You know the theory of relativity?
Theory, let's stick
yeah.
with fact.
Theory of relativity.
Theory.
Two atoms moving in the same speed will seem relative to each
Yeah,
other.
they'll actually catch up. Time and space catches up. That's the special theory of relativity.
No, I'm talking about two objects moving 100 kilometres an hour down a freeway, and you look at each other, and he looks like he's standing still.
Okay.
So couldn't that be what you're looking at there?
No.
Those objects that you're
Because it's not me. It's what this is capturing.
Yeah, but
No, but the point of reference is what's very, very important.
Oh, sure, you'll get parallax.
Moving at the same speed.
If you look at two power poles that are coming at you, they will close up. They'll move as you go past them. The parallax will happen between those 2 points, right?
Your argument for every point is bring in another point.
Oh no, I'm happy to stick with what you want.
No, but you need to sort of close one out and put a nail in it.
Well, I can only talk about what I've observed.
Alright, well, just stepping away from,
Yeah, sure.
we believe what I believe. You guys, I respect that. I think it's quite cool.
Everybody's entitled to their own.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. ECM, right?
How big is this sort of movement for flat Earth?
I think what did they say on Google? There's 24 million Google searches for Trump.
Yeah.
There's been 27 million searches on flat Earth in the last year on Google. It's way up there. 99% retention, people.
Sniffing condoms over your nose.
No, the only ones that bet them were like Katy Perry, musicians, you know, those sorts of people with the fame.
Okay, the thing is, what really got me is, as well is like, if you're standing on Antarctica, right, and you drill a hole feet first, right through to the bottom, which way are you going to come out? Feet first or head first?
Yeah, if you come out in China, in other words, dig a hole in China, you're going to come out feet
Very
first.
complicated question, very simple, because some point
Okay,
in the
if you
middle.
drill a hole in a flat Earth, where do you come out?
Some point in the
Well, we don't know. How deep do you think anyone's ever drilled?
No one's
6
ever
miles.
been to
Is
the
it
middle.
8 miles. Yeah, 12 kilometre. In Russia.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Kola. And that's it. Exactly.
Yeah, how far have they got through the flat Earth?
Exactly.
Have they got to the
So
point
no
where
one
they're
knows.
looking at the bottom going, hey,
All of those
there's
science
no
books you've
problem.
seen where you see the crust and the mantle, and that's all speculation and
It's the
theory
same way,
because it's
there's
never
no
been
need to
proven.
dig a hole around the
Correct.
around there,
You've
yeah.
also done like you can put energy waves and different things through it and
Oh,
measure
sure.
response from it. And
How do they know it's flat? Your
much
argument for
like
one
we
is the
can see
argument
an
for another.
electron or know what the
Sure, X-rays.
makeup of a
Sure.
No, I just mean on the flat Earth, the whole thing.
and
There's no
develop it.
model points are going to hold through around there for a flat Earth.
Sure.
Understanding
Both
how
of them are pointless.
rays,
Both of
matter,
them we don't have
material
the technology to go down
reacts
and
with
through
each other.
it.
You
Sure.
can develop some
but we've got
reasonable
a
idea of what
we've got
Sure, you can test and do the geophysics and see how deep and what's made of what. But that's only going to go so deep, isn't it? You're not going to send a seismic wave and then pick it up on the other side of the ball.
to find out
Because you'll get the Couché-Q effect where it bounces around on the inside of the ball. It'll bounce. You won't get a direct thing right through.
Yes, I don't know really how it works. I think it's kind of
Yeah, but if we're on
Exactly.
water, if we've already tried to dig the hole,
Exactly,
out,
that's the Couché-Q. You're bouncing it inside a circle. It's always just going to go like
like
air
We
hockey.
can't get far enough to get through around it.
Have you guys seen that guy who made the steam rocket though?
Yeah, but they
Oh,
don't.
the Mad Mike, the rocket guy.
Yeah.
The argument is big.
I take a photo.
They did that in, I think it was back in the 30s. August Piccard was the first one to go up about 10 miles in the stratospheric rocket. And, well, that's what he did. Don't look up popular mechanics. Oh yeah, the homemade rocket. Yeah, some people have got some stupid ideas. But, you know what water does in space? Yeah. In a vacuum, how does water react?
There's no use of drilling a hole in the road.
It boils.
You can physically measure
Water boils.
Yeah.
It basically the oxygen separates from the hydrogen, and water will boil it in a vacuum. All right. So, or same with air. Air will expand in a vacuum and blow out. So how do the space suits get on then? They're in a pressurized. You put a pressurized thing inside a vacuum, in a pure vacuum, it'll just expand and blow up. And your tongue. They did one test.
It's pressurized so your blood doesn't boil.
Yeah, but that pressure. So how does that pressure? There's got to be a solid barrier between the pressurized spacesuit and space.
The forces you're talking about, like, okay,
and you're right. You know, when you measure a mile, it doesn't drop down.
Sure.
Yep.
The pressures you're talking about there are tenfold over
4 miles
back from the space.
No, wrong.
No.
Vacuums. There's a guy that actually does. I was suing this. A guy that was making.
The bottom of the ocean, pressure-wise, on
immense. Yeah, it'd be immense.
So your pressure argument can.
What I'm saying is it's the opposite. So you've got immense pressure at the bottom of a more denser medium like water, but where there's no vacuum, the pressure expands immensely. Not pressure's in, so it won't implode, it'll explode.
What do you think of that?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's pretty well proven, how the engineering's more than capable.
I see you think it's a lens on the camera making
I need to look up the rubber seals they use. I mean, there's a really interesting YouTube clip showing a guy that actually designs the rubber seals for the submarines and for underground water equipment, and he looked at the seals that they use on the ISS and says there's absolutely no way that rubber will hold in a vacuum. It's just too immense.
Does your flat spin or does it stay static?
Static. Do you feel like you're moving?
What's your thoughts on gravity?
No, but it goes back to relativity.
You're right.
If you're moving at the same speed the Earth is spinning, in theory, I won't feel it. Yeah.
So if you fly from here to say to the equator, where here we're doing about 800 mile an hour, and up at the equator doing 1,040, do you notice the speed difference when you jump off the airplane?
No, because you measure yourself relative to the surface.
Because the density changes.
Yeah.
If you're sitting in a car going 100 miles an hour, do you feel like you're going 100 miles an hour?
Oh, shit, no. So when you come to a solid stop.
Well, you open the door and get out.
Yeah, exactly.
Relative to the car, your speed is zero. Yeah, the car's going 100.
So theoretically, we could be zero if we're spinning at the same speed the Earth is spinning. We wouldn't notice it.
Do you know that they've tried to show the Earth moving? They've tried to experiment that. Sorry, what?
Is that correct? If we were spinning at the same speed the Earth is spinning, we wouldn't notice it.
Sure.
If the Earth was spinning and we were spinning at the same speed as we're going around the sun, we wouldn't notice it. Correct?
Well, gravity is like
sure.
a seatbelt.
Gravity's
If the
solvable.
was spinning and the Earth was spinning and we were spinning on the Earth and we were all going at the same speed, we wouldn't notice the sun going around the solar system.
Yeah, okay.
Also,
I'll agree with that. Sure. There's nothing wrong with the heliocentric theory. Both things work. It's a matter of what you actually see and physically can prove. There's never been any evidence of the Earth moving. The Michelson-Morley experiment tried to prove the ether and the fact that we're moving through space.
Charles? Yeah.
Mark.
Me, Mark?
Liam.
Mark.
I was really interested
Good to meet you.
Just tell by our size.
about observation.
Don't worry about them, they're not interested in this part.
I can only speak to what I've done firsthand, so yeah.
Electric shock for this shit,
And a lot of your arguments and reasoning were based upon observation and whatnot.
Yeah, they're based on observation.
And measurable things.
When they do like the NASA launch and doing the calculations to get it up, orbit around and come down, and they allow for the relative change in the Earth's position between there and the flight time around it, how do you view that? Do you think it's just all conspiracy?
No rockets have ever gone past low Earth orbit. NASA will tell you themselves they can't go to the moon anymore. They destroyed the technology from the 60s. They can't go back to the moon.
But you're saying there's one that did and it went to the moon, right?
No.
I mean,
I see you saying they didn't go to the moon.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
There's too much evidence showing that they didn't go to the moon.
I like that there's women on the moon. That's my favourite.
You know, everybody was shown on TV that we went to the moon. Nobody actually saw it happen. Nobody actually. Yeah.
But it's like you're saying that you didn't see me have sex with my wife, that means it didn't happen.
Yeah, but if you've got a kid roaming around, I'm pretty sure you did, you know.
No, but there's no kids from the moon. You don't go touch the moon and go,
the moon rocks have ended up being petrified wood from Antarctica. actually gave them to another country as a gift, and then they analysed them and found out it was just petrified wood.
Yeah, but was that the moon rock, or was that a sample?
This is the rock that Buzz Aldrin gave to a country when he went to visit, and then they actually tested
yeah,
it.
I'm just wondering if Buzz changed, like, I'm not going to give him a
who
moon,
knows?
I'm going to give him this bit of wood.
There's a good movie called Astronauts Gone Wild, or something happened on the way to the moon. Yep, sure.
Is it unscalable, or can you fly a helicopter over it and then that's it?
Of course there's helicopters that fly over it. I mean, there's only 3 points.
What's at the end of the world? Like,
Well, if you think of the world as this ashtray, the centre spot's your North Pole, just like a speaker magnet, right? A round magnet, you've got north in the centre and you've got south all the way around. Halfway along is your equator.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm talking about the edge. We just get right to
So
the
if the sun's orbiting between the tropics of Capricorn and tropics of Cancer, then as it's orbiting around, it'll go out further and then it'll come back in further, just as the moon does.
You sail the boat to the ice wall.
Yeah, we
Yep.
get to go there.
You can't get there. It's heavily protected by military. You can't go there.
Can't get
There was a guy, Jals Goldberg, a German guy, who tried it and got held at gunpoint and told to fuck right off.
Okay, so
They won't let
theoretically,
anybody
if we
there.
got there, we'd just get to
So,
the
no,
guy's
you can get there. I've seen people go
Sure.
there. They've
Yeah.
been there, but you can only go to a certain point where
You can't go any further.
This ice wall?
Well, the ice wall's 150 foot, so yeah, of course you can.
Okay, what keeps an ice wall ice?
The fact that there's less sun there. The sun's orbiting
goes down
inside
there,
here. It's not going out to the outer rim as much. That's why Antarctica will have
Okay,
6 months of darkness,
so
because
you're
the sun's
serious.
more to the centre.
No one knows how big it goes.
Yeah. The only things you can go by is the fact that you know water will always find its level and will always be flat. And if the Earth's not 70% water,
2 countries.
or the giant, salt flats, if you've got 70% water, and water will always find its level, so how does it curve around a ball? Have you ever seen water stick to the exterior of any shape? Doesn't have to be a ball. Where?
Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, no, if I pour water onto something round, is it going to stick to all of it around evenly, or is it going to pour off and find its level?
That round thing you poured it on, did it have gravity, centrifugal force, and an orbit?
No, and
your example
if
is
we've
kind
got
of
water,
easy,
have you ever spun a wet tennis ball? What happens to the
you don't
water?
have gravity and orbit. You're making your example
Again,
so
using
simple,
gravity
you're gonna get the
to
answer you
explain
want.
it. But there is gravity hasn't been proven.
So simple, you
water
get
on
the
the
answer you
ball.
want.
Gravity hasn't been proven, has it?
No, but this is bringing in another point again. Every time you want to dispute a point, you bring in another point. You're talking about a ball to argue one point.
Alright, your last chance to sell it.
Balls don't.
I'm not trying to say
They
anything.
don't have gravity, they
Just
don't
bear
have
me
anything.
with me for a sec. The wife.
They ask you
Sorry.
to drink the Kool-Aid, say no.
Yeah, that's fine. Now, if you're interested, look, do your own research. Don't believe a word I'm saying. Just look it up for yourself. Try and debunk it, because 90% of people that try it.
I find solace in living in a little box that
Yeah,
is
that's
my
cool.
world that
Little
I can
boxes,
control and-
Never challenge the gates that hold you in. I get that,
No, I
nobody.
had an opportunity to do that in Australia and go to the upper epsilons of business and do all that other bullshit, and there's no happiness in it.
Exactly, mate.
Maybe just to live
Got
your
to
own
see
little
yourself
life
right.
and do what you wanna
Yeah,
do.
absolutely. Whatever makes you happy, go for it.
And why they think it's important, a lot of people say, well, what's the difference? Who cares if it's flat or built?
Yeah, that's
Why?
what I meant.
Well, if the people truly found out that we weren't on a ball, and it was flat, with a dome, which is contained in the container.
Is there a dome?
Yeah, this is the.
Well, they call it the firmament.
Sorry.
The firmament or rakia. If you're biblical or religious, it's all through the Bible that it's a flat earth.
Water on top, that's why the sky is blue.
They launched a rocket, the Go Fast rocket, back in 2014, and at 73 miles it hit something like, it sounded like it landed in water.
So you're telling me Elon Musk is fucked because he isn't going to get anything out of it?
Why didn't Elon Musk's wheels explode in the car? That's oxygen inside a blur. Air expands in a vacuum. It should have depressurized.
Understand the pressure for what it's designed to do.
A balloon would pop
right
it.
now, why doesn't it pop?
But that's the same argument as why wouldn't a human pop when he's in the mouth? Well, I suppose he is breathing.
They would.
And he's changing.
They only did one ever test to test the how a spacesuit with an astronaut inside works in a vacuum chamber. They only ever did it once, and just before the guy passed out from almost getting the bends because his blood and everything started to boil, he felt his tongue tingling like it was on fire, and then he blacked out.
But you forget that when they go into different atmospheres and they're breathing in and out, they're actually changing the makeup of their body, similar to divers going down.
No, the
They don't
bends,
breathe oxygen,
sure.
they breathe 90.
And you don't rise above the bubbles, so you get the bends.
Yeah.
It's because of the pressurisation.
Couldn't the same be assumed for going up? When
So
you're
why do
breathing in and out,
astronauts
your
test in
pressure's
water,
changing?
which is the complete opposite of a vacuum? Why don't they train astronauts in a vacuum chamber?
Is when you're coming back
Well, I
up to
think
the
to
wall.
create a vacuum chamber costs billions of dollars to suck it all out.
Yeah, they've got
But
one.
to put people in water, it costs next to nothing, and the water's always here.
Yeah, I get that. But if you want to, they're complete opposites.
Yeah, agreed.
It's got water's
Sure.
nothing to do with
But it does simulate floating, doesn't it, more than air?
Sure.
So if you want to simulate weightlessness, you can either
You're going
build
through a
one
more
swimming
dense
pool
medium.
or spend billions of dollars on making an airlock function every time. And when that airlock goes south, you can't have support crews now next to it. If someone goes south in a big water pool, you got to dive in next year, and he's okay.
They didn't get shot down.
Maybe.
It doesn't really happen. No, it sounds okay, but realistically, to a spacesuit, it don't make sense. Like, it don't make sense to realistic, conditions.
Oh yeah.
It's got nothing to do with it.
It's a dumbed down version. It's a very dumbed down version, but it's a cheap one, and it's a safe
sounds
one.
good to play around in the water because you can float.
And it's
But that's
cheap.
it's cheap, but it's got nothing to do with what it's really like.
Well, I wouldn't say it's got nothing, but it's
Same
not
prin-
100%.
exactly,
It's
the
about 50.
Same principles apply, just the pressures are different.
Yeah.
So it has everything to do with it.
But if you fuck it up, you don't get the life sucked out of you in 3 seconds. You just get full of water and they go the other top one.
Well, we've got a live feed from NASA anyway, so look at that.
Yeah, the Hubble.
ISS has got a live feed.
Oh, absolutely. Do you ever see these satellites in that live feed?
No, because it's orbiting below the satellites by a fucking shit ton.
Really? There's 17,000 satellites. What about the stars?
Would you agree
don't
that
see
every
them.
time you look at the
Or you'll see the nights on the actual continents. You'll see all the lights of everything, right? The entire continent. What? No clouds?
Your mate here.
Then how come you can see the entire continent's lights?
Like, watch it constantly.
No, well,
It's never a 24-hour feed.
So, but
It's never continual 24-hour
Doesn't that
feed.
explain most of your theories?
Maybe. I mean, I haven't watched it for 24 hours.
I have.
Well, every time you look
I've
at
tried
the
it.
Earth from a single reference point, it will appear flat, subject to shading.
Are you talking about the ISS feed?
No, I'm just talking about every time you're looking around from one point, which is, these two eyes, your eyes.
Sure, 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional object, it'll appear a circle.
Yeah, but the thing is, we've got technology to put cameras all over the globe. We've got 20,000 satellites.
But then you're talking about multiple projectors looking at one point, making a hologram, and then you come up with an argument why that was false.
Thousands of miles orbiting further out than ISS. Do you understand that the satellites, not one GPS satellite or anything we have, is in low Earth orbit?
So where are they?
They're in high Earth orbit, like 2,000.
They're at all different levels if you go to the heliocentric theory.
But basically, they're like ISS is fucking low. It's about the first pit stop in space.
It's travelling about 16,000 miles an hour, yeah.
How did the ISS get up there?
Have you ever thought that the reason...
Have you ever thought about that?
Have you ever thought that the reason...
Yeah, going those 16,000 miles an hour, they do it.
And it's aluminium.
16,000 miles an hour while traveling at that speed.
Have you ever thought that the reason half the world's awake and the other half asleep is because the Matrix only has enough power to
Yeah, they're losing the copper tops, mate, at an astounding rate. That'll be it.
I know, there's
so many unanswered.
I've got one guy where he's a little bit into it, but he's also
the realm of theory is so many unanswered questions.
Reptilians. See, that's where you're mixing, conspiracies with factual observations. That's where the blur happens.
I love space.
Yeah, man. Fuck, I was right into it.
I was deep into that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You catch up once a month or something.
No, this is the first time in New Zealand there's ever been a flat Earth conference.
Yeah.
Because it's
You
only.
stumbled into it and yelled out round Earth right in front of your door.
Yeah, that's all right.
Well, I love it.
Everybody likes a challenge.
But you know, NASA is the one that it's just
Never a straight answer.
It's no different to the God argument. Half the people believe, half the people don't, and there's no way to prove one of them right or the other wrong.
Exactly.
So do you fully trust NASA and what they say?
Don't fully trust anyone, mate.
Exactly. You don't trust yourself and what you see and know.
I know there's a hell of a lot more people smarter than me, and they've done a lot more research, so I have to rely on the fact that Stephen Hawking, Einstein, Tesla, and all the geniuses that come before me had a pretty good idea.
Well, Tesla believed in the flat Earth.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
The electromagnetic universe and harnessing the Earth.
Yeah, Nikola Tesla.
But he is a very smart man.
Very smarter than Einstein. So
He quoted once something about that the science has changed itself to mathematical equations instead of first-hand observations. You can mathematically explain how to suspend an elephant with a feather if you like. You know, it's mathematically you can explain anything.
Do you believe like atoms and molecular structure and all the rest of it?
Well, I haven't seen them, but yeah. I think whatever you see in a large scale, you'll see in a small scale. Everything's scalar.
Yeah, so you believe in something we've never really seen.
I believe there are things that I can't see because I'm limited with my eyesight. You can only see.
Yeah, but you just told me you believe in atoms and molecular structure. You've never seen it, I've never seen it, it's only theory.
But I've seen the reaction between those sorts of things. Like I've made hydrogen generators and blown myself up half the time in the process, you know. I've done my own experiments. I've separated hydrogen and oxygen through electrolysis.
Well, that's a lot stronger than whatever I had before.
So what did you get when you separated that?
Hydrogen. And I couldn't see it, so what did I do? Light a fucking match. And my entire hydrogen chamber blew up. Wife's picking glass out of my throat. But you don't know unless you try.
That's a done it for me.
No, I think people did know that if you split hydrogen,
I didn't have a flashback arrestor. Yeah, I didn't have a.
So you split water, you get deuterium and hydrogen.
Well, hydrogen and oxygen.